Young is throwing on first down. And to the ground. Ruled an interception by Will Harris, who spins inside the 40-yard line. It looked like an overthrow. Bryce Young drops back to pass, middle of the field, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by the Chargers.
Meanwhile,
ladies and gentlemen, Jamarcus Russell wasn't even that bad.
I think Bryce Young is done in Carolina.
4 to 6 weeks later.
Bryce will be playing this week.
A few moments later.
On third and less than a yard. Fake the handoff. Young floats it. Open man. Thielen. Green grass in front of him. Adam Thielen. Big gain on the catch and run for Carolina.
Young has time and he can run. Throws for the end zone. Thielen has it. It's a touchdown, Panthers. See Legette, who on an injured reserve, as Young has room to run again. If he wants it, he'll keep. He gets a good block. There's a flag down around the 5 as he goes in for a touchdown.
Take your shots downfield, Carolina.
Shotgun, Young. Deep one. Caught over the shoulder by Thielen. Touchdown, Panthers. Fake the handoff. Young. Out of the pocket, on the move, Young's going to run forward, and then some! Touchdown, Panthers! Monster day for Bryce Young!
Oh, boy! Yeah!
Give a round of applause for Bryce Young, please. That is how you overcome adversity throughout the 2024 NFL season. Congrats to Bryce Young for showing significant improvement for the Panthers down the stretch. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about how the Bryce Young redemption arc is inspiring for the Panthers. Bryce Young will be entering the 2025 NFL season as the Panthers starting quarterback. In fact, this will now mark the third consecutive season Bryce Young will enter the Panthers as the starting quarterback, something that has not been done throughout the David Tepper era. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. How far will Bryce Young take the Panthers in the 2025 NFL season? As much as I really want to say the Panthers are going to go 11-6 and win the NFC South Division title, I do not see that happening. It is not necessarily a knock on Bryce Young. I just think it is too difficult for Bryce Young and the Panthers to pull that off. You have to look at how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are by far the best team in the NFC South Division. I can't go out there and say that the Carolina Panthers are going to win the NFC South Division, even though I really want to say that. Realistically, though, I expect the Carolina Panthers to go 7-10, which is actually an improvement compared to how the David Tepper years have gone as the Panthers owner. I truly believe Bryce Young will take a leap this year. I don't necessarily think he's going to leap into becoming a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback, but I believe Bryce Young can be somewhere around the quarterback 20 through 25 range. Do I think that's going to be good enough for Bryce Young to stay on the Carolina Panthers in 2026? I'm not necessarily sure. Despite all of that, though, what he did in 2024 was incredibly impressive, and he got better throughout the course of the season. Not only did Bryce Young win 4 of those games, he actually played well in several losses. Bryce Young played really well against the Kansas City Chiefs. They nearly won that game. Had they gotten the ball last, they probably go ahead and win that game. And then you look at what happened against the Philadelphia Eagles. Bryce Young, he should have thrown a game-winning touchdown pass to Xavier Legette. Legette ends up dropping the touchdown. If he catches that touchdown, that's probably a win for the Panthers as well. So obviously, there are some wins that the Panthers left on the table. Now, am I going to say Bryce Young's going to end up being an elite quarterback? Of course not. Do I think Bryce Young's going to end up being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? Probably not. But what I am going to say about Bryce Young is that he's now back to what I thought he was pre-draft. I thought Bryce Young was a solid quarterback, and I thought that he would at least be an average quarterback in the NFL, which is what he has shown. Compared to what he did in the 2023 NFL season, that's actually pretty impressive. Bryce Young's rookie season was pretty rough. I know a lot of people like to make excuses for Bryce Young's horrific rookie season. I'm not going to do that, but I will say Bryce Young had a pretty big jump in his sophomore season. Obviously, the offensive line, they played much better down the stretch in the second half of the season. The run game gets going. Chuba Hubbard ends up being one of the main focal stars of the Panthers offense. Adam Thielen is an underrated wide receiver, so I was pretty impressed with what I saw from the Panthers down the stretch. They were able to improve to 5 wins last season, so let's see if the Panthers can take another step forward. I also want to show you guys this clip of Dan Morgan talking about the confidence Bryce Young has displayed. He mentioned how Bryce Young is having more fun than ever. I could not agree more with what Panthers general manager Dan Morgan had to say. I still think he's a little too optimistic about Bryce Young, but it is valid for him to have that opinion. Roll the film.
I see somebody out there who's having fun. He's really developing into a leader of our team. I think you're going to continue to see him grow as he creates, he creates chemistry with his wideouts. He continues to do that. And he's, I think he's going to potentially take a next step the more he masters this offense and all the little details that Coach Canales wants him to do. So he's doing all the right things. The passion for the game is evident every single day that he's out there. So, not just him, but everybody. So that's what gets me excited.
I love you guys so much.
Yeah, you could definitely tell it in Bryce Young's body language. I know some people are going to look at the box score stats for Bryce Young and say that he didn't really play all that impressive for the Panthers, but if you actually watched the games, you had to say to yourself, wow, this kid definitely has moxie to him. This guy knows how to make clutch plays. This guy knows how to make winning plays. I truly believe Bryce Young will show improvement, but he's going to need to show drastic improvement in order for the Panthers to make the playoffs. I don't see it happening, especially with the defense that they have. They were one of the worst defenses in the NFL last season. Their rush defense was absolutely awful. They didn't really make a whole lot of additions to improve the defense in 2025, so I expect the Panthers defense to continue being bad, and quite frankly, their defense is the main reason why I don't have the Panthers winning more than 7 games. I do expect improvement from the Panthers, but they're going to need to show a lot more than just simple improvement in order to make the playoffs in 2025. Bryce Young can play. Obviously, he's not better than CJ Stroud, but can he become an average starter in the NFL? Absolutely. I need to see more from him before I declare him a true franchise quarterback, but I have liked what I've seen from Bryce Young, especially down the stretch from weeks 12 through 18. When he played from the Kansas City Chiefs game through the rest of the year, I was like, yeah, this is a guy that can make big-time throws in big-time games. I was impressed with what I saw for Bryce Young against the Kansas City Chiefs. I was impressed with what I saw for Bryce Young against the Philadelphia Eagles. He also had a good game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They should have won that game, but the referees, they took away a Bryce Young touchdown that should have been a touchdown catch by Adam Thielen, but it is what it is. Bryce Young showed significant improvement throughout the stretch of the 2024 season. Of course, did he still have bad games down the stretch? Yeah, he did. Against the Cowboys, he still sucked. Against great pass rushes, he still struggled to make good decisions. But when Bryce Young had plenty of time to throw the football, he at least showed me he was a competent football player, which is a lot more than what you could have said about Bryce Young after week 2 of the 2024 NFL season. Obviously, Bryce Young is a decent quarterback, but do I think he can be anything more than that for the Panthers in 2025? I don't see it happening. I don't see the Panthers being anything more than a mediocre football team. But hey, sign me up for mediocrity, because the Panthers are rarely mediocre. This team's going to reach 7 wins, but they're not going to do more than that. And I see them finishing in 2nd place in the NFC South division. However, I do not have the Panthers making the NFL playoffs in 2025. I just don't see that happening. So that is why Bryce Young will take the Panthers to a 7-10 record while finishing 2nd place in the NFC South division. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.